All right, students, so number 8 on today's review was the equation of the line L1 is 2x minus y equals negative 3. Line 2 is perpendicular to L1, and L2 contains the point 4, negative 5, which represents the equation, that's a typo, of L2. Okay, so that's a lot of information, like I told you during class. The big keyword here is perpendicular, and that means that the slope is going to be the opposite reciprocal. Okay, and they give us one line. L1 is like the old line, the first line. So L1, I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to need to get the slope of it so I can do the opposite reciprocal in order for me to get the new line, L2. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do to the old line is change it to y equals mx plus b so I can know the slope. Okay, so I'm going to move the x over. Okay, so in this case, it turned out to be 2, like the same as this one was, but that doesn't happen all the time. So we got to change for y equals mx plus b to make sure. So my slope is 2 here of the old one. So the old slope is 2. So now I have to do the opposite reciprocal to it so that I have my new slope. Okay, reciprocal means I'm going to flip it. Okay, so that means I'm going to have 1 over 2, and since this one is positive, the opposite would be negative. So this is my new slope, negative 1/2. So I'm going to go over here to the side now, and I'm going to write that my slope is going to be negative 1/2 for line 2. My x will be 4, and my y is going to be negative 5. So with those 3 items, that means I'm going to have to use my equation, or my formula, of point-slope formula, because I have a point and a slope. I'm going to have to fill in these 3 things from here. So the y1 is negative 5, the m is negative 1/2, and the x1 is 4. And then I just bring down the rest, like y minus, the equals, the parentheses, the x, the minus, and that. Some of you guys are skipping the parentheses, okay, when you fill in the information, and then you end up with 1/2 x minus 4, and you think that's true. That's not true. You cannot skip that step. You have to put the parentheses when you first fill it in, because then you will forget that you have to distribute. So that 1/2 needs to be distributed in. That's my next step. And this becomes a plus. So 1/2 negative times x is 1/2 negative x. 1/2 negative times negative 4 becomes positive 2. Okay? So now this one I want it in standard form. So standard form is this. So I have to have my x and my y on the right-hand side. So I have to move the x over. And all of these 3 items are different, and they're being added together on this side because they're all positive, as you can see. This one got zeroed out. So I'm going to rewrite those 3 items so it looks more like standard form. So 1/2 x, and then plus the y, and then plus the 5, and the 2's on the other side. Now I'm going to move the 5 over because I need all the constants on the right-hand side. Okay, now here I would be done, except that whenever you do standard form, you cannot have fractions. So I have to get rid of this fraction. So to get rid of it, I look at the denominator, that's 2. So I'm going to multiply by that denominator to get rid of it. And I'm going to distribute that 2 to everything. So 2 times 1/2, and if you can't do that, or if you forget, because that's one error I see a lot, put it in the calculator. 2 times 1/2. Get 1x, and then 2 times y gives me 2y, and negative 3 times 2 gives me negative 6. And that would be the answer to that question.